Anthony, are you at all familiar with a show called AM LA? It's a morning talk show.
Of course, I've heard of it.
Well, that's good, because they'd like you to be on it.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding. They want to interview the industry's hottest new designer.
Wonderful. What if you ask them if I can bring someone with me?
This is not the prom, Anthony. It doesn't work that way. And anyway, who would you want to bring with you?
Macy.
Macy.
She can represent the company, and I'll be the talent.
What's going on with the two of you?
What do you mean?
You have the hots for her, don't you?
She's married.
Well, I don't think that would deter a guy like you.
Oh, well. Well, I do admit I think about Macy every so often.
Well, I wouldn't dare ask you to describe the nature of those thoughts.
Karen, I really like her.
Oh, gee, I never would have guessed.
Okay, Sherlock, you got your scoop. Now, how about giving me a hand?
Giving you a hand, doing what?
Well, Macy could use some cheering up, don't you think?
Yeah, she's been a little gloomy lately.
Well, I could change that, given the right circumstances.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Problem is, I need some help. So, what do you say?
Karen, do you have the sales reports? Morning, Anthony.
Good morning.
Anthony, about that little matter that we were discussing, you know, I'm thinking maybe I can help.
Thank you.
The sales reports? Oh, yeah. Well, they're here somewhere.
What are you doing?
I'm mending my bare Waldo.
Swell.
Dug him out of the attic.
Are you serious?
Thor and this guy was my buddy from age 2 to about age 5. I'm gonna give him to Bridget.
Oh, what? How was the birthday party?
Terrific, actually. Brooke, me, and the kids are becoming a real family.
She chose to die. My mother chose to die. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
She didn't choose to die. She died giving birth to me. There was no choice involved.
Aye, if that were it, she'd be here with us. But no. She loved you more than she loved me.
You are talking like a madman.
Just a minute. Damon, what do you mean that she loved James more than you? Why did she have to choose?
And the night Jimmy was born, I'll never forget it as long as I live. The pain and the agony that Mary went through, wave after wave, each one more intense than the one before. She was dying of complications. Oh, the screams that she had, oh, they echoed down the dark halls of that hospital all night long. And then, finally, at the first light of dawn, a decision had to be made. The baby's life or Mary's. The doctors could not save both. I told them I wanted my wife. There was no choice. There would be other children, but I couldn't replace Mary. I told them to take the baby and save the mother. But my dear, sweet Mary, she's delirious. She said no. The child had to live. It was the way of nature. And on that bitter June morning, a baby was born, and a woman died in childbirth. And then my heart, my soul, the very core of my existence died with her. So there you have it. A needless, senseless, unnecessary death. A death of a woman so good and so giving. And the death of a man that day as well. For I have not known one moment of joy since the morning that I lost her. Not a moment.
You're becoming a family. What is that supposed to mean?
Me, Brooke, little Eric, and Bridget. When we're together, there's a kind of a bond between us. A bond I can only describe as family.
Look, I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but I don't like the sound of this.
Why not?
Because you're married. That should be your primary family, Ridge.
Yeah, well, it sure doesn't feel like it these days.
Well, because Taylor is over in Europe with this Warwick guy, of course.
That's part of it, Thorne.
What, there's more?
Look, let me get something clear here. This has nothing to do with sex, or seduction, or any of my feelings for Brooke. It has to do with belonging. Yeah, it involves the children, and how we all get along, and how good they feel when the four of us are together. And yes, it also has to do with a sense of satisfaction for me and Brooke.
And do you think you would be feeling this way if all of this business with Taylor wasn't going on right now?
I don't know why.
There you go.
Look, it's because I probably wouldn't be spending that much time with Brooke and the kids
Maybe
otherwise.
you shouldn't be spending that kind of time over there, Ridge.
Thorne, I have a daughter there. She and her brother are being raised without a father in that household. Now look, they love it when we're together. Nobody's gonna tell me that's not good for them.
But it isn't good for you, Ridge. For your marriage.
This has nothing to do with my marriage. It's not like I'm sleeping with Brooke.
And this family thing doesn't go beyond you and the kids. And you're not attracted to Brooke at all, huh? You better be careful, buddy. Because what you're doing is dangerous. It's very dangerous, Ridge. And don't kid yourself into thinking that it isn't.
Giving those kids a sense of belonging is not dangerous, Thorne. I'll tell you what's dangerous. Flying off to Europe with one of your patients. Sharing the same hotel room with him. That's dangerous.
Well, sales are holding up pretty well, aren't they?
Yes. And how about you? How are you holding up?
Well, I'm not the happiest camper in the park.
Well, Macy, all you do is work.
What else is there for me to do?
Come in.
You're in the middle of something.
That's okay. I was just leaving.
Macy, before you go, what are you doing tonight?
Well, let's see. What's on television tonight?
So you're not busy.
Well, that depends on what you're proposing.
A good time. Something that you absolutely cannot resist.
And for this, you blame James?
But for James, Mary would be here.
He is not responsible. You want to know who's responsible for Mary's death? Mary. She is the one that you're angry at, Damon. Your wife, not your son. And you couldn't lash out at her, so you made James your whipping boy, and that was wrong. It was wrong.
I wish I could take away your pain, but I can't.
You caused the pain, Jimmy. Neither of you want to believe that.
It was my mother's choice. It was her sacrifice. It wasn't mine. You transferred your anger at her to me.
Oh, don't give me all of that head-shrinking babble. You know there's more to it than that.
What more?
What more?
What are you trying to tell us, Damon?
The death of my wife I could live with. I was half a man and had an empty life. But I could survive. There's no doubt about that. But when your Jimmy started his little head games...
What head games?
The way you talk to your mother. The shrine that you built in that room of yours. And he's a shrink, do you believe that? He spent most of his life talking to a dead woman, telling stories to her, taking her on walks, singing to her. And do you know why you did it? You did it because you knew that it tore my heart out to hear her name. It was Jimmy's way of controlling me. The old man. Torture him with memories that slice right through like a razor. And you wonder why I was in a stew all the time. It was all I could do to stop myself from killing you. Although there were times that I almost did it.
Damon, children don't torture their parents.
Tell that to this one.
No, I'm telling it to you. And you have got to listen to me, and you have got to believe me, because what I am about to tell you is going to change your life. It's going to free you from a lot of pain, Damon. It's going to give you your life back.
Sounds decadent.
Well, you know, it just hit me. I just got the idea.
Excuse me, please. Am I in on this?
Sweetheart, not only are you in on this, but you're going to be our handsome host.
Really? Of what?
A little cookout.
I see. I just love it when she does this. So spontaneous. Who are the guests?
You're looking at him.
The three of us.
You are going to have dinner with two lovely ladies. Out on your deck, we are going to have a long, luxurious dinner.
Well, pardon me for saying so, but I really don't think you need me for that.
But you need us to get you out of the house.
Thanks, but maybe some other night.
No, 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 no. I will not take no for an answer. I'm going to consider you committed.
No, I am not committed.
Macy, don't be rude. I mean, my boyfriend has been planning this dinner all week long, and you're the guest of honor.
Yes. Please don't insult me. I've gone to great lengths to plan this.
I understand that, Connor, but I don't think I would add too much to your evening, considering the mood I'm in.
That's okay, because we're here to add to your evening.
What is going on here?
Believe me, we won't throw anything at you can't handle.
No. All we want is the pleasure of your company. So, we'll see you tonight, okay?
All right, I'll be there. Thanks.
You're welcome. Now, can we tell me what's going on, please?
Well, we're going to be the Good Samaritans tonight.
Sorry. How'd it go?
Great. We're having dinner tonight at Connor's place. Now make sure you bring a healthy appetite and a healthy dose of that sexy Italian charm.
You are really gonna hold her feet to the fire on this one?
No, Taylor has put her own feet in the fire.
You have no proof that she has done anything over there, Ridge.
I haven't done anything reactionary.
Well, except for that photo of you and Brooke in the tabloid.
Oh, please, that was nothing.
Well, good. And I hope it stays that way for your sake, Ridge. Because this situation is messed up enough. And you start getting it on with Brooke, and that is really gonna complicate your life.
Thor and I have been completely straight through all this. Let's just hope my wife has been the same.
Your wife, Mary. I wish I had known her, Damon. She sounds like she was an extraordinary human being.
There was none like her.
And the day that she died, your heart cried out. I can feel your pain. You were alone with an infant and a lot of grief.
Aye, that's how it was.
But Damon, as deep and as painful as your wounds were, I know that you suffered. I do. I know that you did. But still, you were a man, an adult. Your son was a baby without a mother.
James was no problem to me as a baby. It was when he grew older that he started with all those mind games.
Oh, don't you see? I didn't...
Damon, listen to me, because this is very important. What James was doing was trying to survive. You were frustrated and angry about losing the one woman that you loved more than life itself. And you vented that frustration and anger and bitter disappointment on your son. You beat him. You abused him. And then you hated yourself, so you drank, and that made you all the more vicious. James was a little boy. He didn't know what was going on. You were everything to him. You were all that he had. And then you would lash out at him, and you'd hurt him. And you'd scare him. You'd scare him like a child should never be scared by a father. What was he to do? What? What was he to do? Most would have died, but not your son. No. No. James did something that is so remarkable, so creative and rare, that I am still in awe when I think about it. He created a mother to nurture him and to sit by him night after night while you unleashed your drunken torrents of abuse and rage through the darkest times a child should ever have to endure. To a few brief moments of respite, your son had a fantasy to keep him safe and sane. And then as time went on, this fantasy that kept him alive took on the richness of a flesh and blood human being, a person who not only comforted him, but who sang to him and talked to him and encouraged him and made it possible for your son to drift through this tragic dysfunction of his childhood and then on into high school and on through college and right into medical school and ultimately to his career, a career where he is second to none in his field. Your son is a genius because of his fantasies. Fantasies of a dead mother.
I thought it all was just to make me miserable. Remind me of my dear Mary, whom I so terribly missed. Oh, God. Oh, my God. What have I done? How could you ever forgive me? How could anyone ever forgive me?
You don't need that anymore.
Oh, I do. At least right now.
Now, please, Father. For me. Just one time. For me. I forgive you, Father.